Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Subject Computer Application for 12th Standard C section. Chapter 12 DNS Domain Name System Part 2. Last class we discussed about the following topics about the introduction to DNS and overview of DNS and IPv4 method of IP addressing method and IPv4 addressing method. Now in this class we inshallah we will cover the following topics. So URL, uniform resource locator, absolute URL, relative URL, DNS component, namespace. Let's start our class. So first topic is URL, uniform resource locator, is the address of the document on the internet. So IP is the address of the system, whereas URL is the address of the document which was used in the internet. URL is made up of four different parts. Number one, protocols. Number two, host name. Number three, folder name. Number four, file name. So this is the important components of any URL. In the diagram, you can see the four parts of the URL: protocol, domain name or host name, folder name, and file name. Each part has its own specific functions. Depending on the application, additional information can be added to the URL, but the common and fundamental URL consists of these four parts. So these are the four and basic common parts of any URL. The additional parts may be added depending upon the application. URL types are divided into two types. One is absolute URL, another one is relative URL. For example, the URL is the name for the address of for the document used on the internet. Document may be image, it may be media file like video, it may be sound file, it may be audio video file, it may be animation file. It depends upon the user. So in here you can see cms.gov.in. It is the host name or the domain name or computer name, and this is the folders is where the path of the complete path of the particular file is placed, and after that file name. Here we are going to, here in this example we we take the image file as a document. So for the image file there was a full URL. So this full URL is known as the consists of four parts: protocol, domain name or host name, folder, and file name. Next, the absolute URL. What is absolute URL? Absolute URL is the complete address of a document on the internet. So absolute URL contains all the information required for to find the file on the internet. This is similar to postal address. For example, if you take a postal address, in postal address you can see the full information should be written on that postal address. Then only that letter we can able to deliver at that particular address. For example, name, door number, street name, area name, town name or city name, district, pin code number. These are the basic required items for any postal address. So if any part of this address is missed, then there is some difficulties will rise and unable to deliver that particular letter to that area. So in the same way, absolute address contains all the details required for that document used in the internet, whereas a relative address is a address address comes under partial address of your document. Partial address means only file name or file name with folder name. We can use this type of URL when the file is on the same server related to original document. So absolute URL are used in the computer where different servers are used for accessing the document, whereas relative URL are used to access the local server data or local server documents, where we can give the address partially. Next one, DNS component. So domain name system components can be categorized into three. One is namespace, another one is name server, another one is zone. What is namespace? Domain name must be very unique and appropriate. The name should be selected from a namespace. So namespace is the area organized in two ways. One is flat namespace, another one is hierarchical namespace. So from this namespace only we can select any name for our for our system, for our domain. The flat name system space is where the name is assigned to an IP address. They do not have a specific structure. So in flat name, the names does not have a specific structure. In the same way, flat namespaces, some meaningful names are being given to IP address for accessing. The major disadvantages is that they cannot be used in large system because they need to be accessed and controlled centrally to avoid ambiguity and redundancy. So in flat name system there was a proper structure. In the same way, flat name system we can give meaningful name, but the difficulty is we unable to use this flat name system in a big or large scale network because the ambiguity and redundancy should be maintained in centralized form. So we use the another type of namespace called hierarchical namespace. So to avoid the major disadvantages of a flat file uh, namespace, we use hierarchy namespace where the names is made up of several parts. So in hierarchy names, the names are consist of many parts. The first part may be represent as nature of the organization. So if you're designing any web page and if you want to set the uh, hierarchy name for your web page, then the first part of the name should be the name of the organization. Second part may be represented the name of the organization. The third part may be represent the department of the organization and so on. So the first part is the nature of organization, second part is the name of the organization, third part is the department of organization. In this way, the power of control, the namespace can be decentralized. The centralized authority can be given to nature and the name and to the organization and so on. To achieve hierarchical namespace, domain names was designed. So DNS names are designed in hierarchical name system. Then only we can able to access any web page through world without any difficulties. See here domain namespace. Domain namespace was designed to achieve hierarchy namespace. In these names are represented as a tree-like structure with root element on the top, and this tree can be maximum of 128 levels starting from root element 0 to or level 127. In the diagram you can see the level 0, that is root level, and the many branches and sub branches are created because there was many parts of this DNS namespace. The first part may be nature of organization, second part may be name of the organization, third part may be the department of the organization. So depending upon the document type, the root may be extend. So here in hierarchy name system which was used in domain name system have a specific structure. In flat file there was not a specific structure. So domain names where the root element is present at the top and most level, that is the level 0. So the level starts from 0 to 127, that is up to 128 level of roots can be used in domain namespace which starts from 0 to 127. The root element always represent null string, empty string. The next level of the root element is node, that is children of the root. Each node in the tree has a label and domain name. So each and every root has their each and every child has their own name, domain name and label. See, this is the root. From the root many branches, many children are created. Each and every children have their label and their domain name like arpa, com, edu, org, add, zw. In the same way many branches are created in domain namespaces. For example, what is label? Consider it is a string which can have maximum of 63 characters. Each node in that level should have different labels, thereby assuring the individuality of the domain name. So each and every node should have label, should have name. that name should be unique, that name should be different from another one. So this label may contain up to 63 characters. And next one, in other words, labels are the names given to domain. So domain is a subtree in domain name space tree structure. The domain name can be further divided into subdomains. For example, here take the website Challenger, the URL of challenger.ats.fhda.edu is the domain name which is obtained by reading the labels from the bottom to top. So from bottom to top, here we start Challenger is the bottom. So top one, that is level 0 point is edu. So in the diagram you can see the hierarchy of this web page. It is from the root there was a edu domain and there was another subdomain FHADA. In the same way, there was another domain ATC and another document domain name called Challenger. Each and every node have their unique labels. Edu is a label, FHDA is another label, ATC and is another label, Challenger is another label. Each and every part is the component of a domain name. When the full name is achieved at the bottom of the tree. So here challenger.atc.fhda edu is the full address of the document. It is achieved at the bottommost level. So this level starts from 0. So this 0 is always empty because it is a root. From 0 to up to 127 we extend our tree structure domain name space, but here we extended up to 4 level. So this is the simple example for domain name and labels. Next one, domain name is the sequence of label. In domain name, the sequence of labels are separated by dot. So here you can see edu is not a domain name, FHDA is not a domain name, ETC is not a domain name, challenge is not a domain name. All these components are labels of every node. Each and every node should be arranged, should be connected by the dot, and this arrangement is called the domain name. So domain name is always read from the lower level to higher level. So here you can see the domain name starts from the domain name of the document is Challenger ATCFHD. So Challenger is the bottom, Edu is the topmost. So domain name always reads from bottom to higher level, from the leaf node to root node. So consider the example, the tree like structure. When you see any tree, you can see first that leaf. From the leaf, the branch is connected. From the branch, the root is connected. The body of the tree is connected. From the body, you go to the root. In the same way, in the hierarchy system also, the domain name starts from the lower level and go to the higher level. So lower level is the domain. It is the arrangement of the tree-like structure used in the domain name spacing. Since the root node always represent null string, all the domain name editing with dot. So each and every label in the domain name is connected by the dots. So for giving the domain name, we should follow some of the rules. So what is the rule? Number one, it may contain alphabets A to Z and digits from 0 to 9. Any domain name may contain, that is, any label may contain 0 to 9 or alphabet. Hyphens are allowed, but hyphens cannot be used as a first character. So hyphen, it can be allowed between the characters, but the first character cannot be hyphen. Spaces are not allowed in labels or domain name. Special symbols such as exclamation, dollar, and so on are not permitted. So domain names have the maximum length of 2 and maximum length of character is 63. So the entire name may be at most 253 character long. It means if you are giving any label, then you should know, you should give at least 2 character, minimum 2 character to any label, and maximum number of character for any domain name is 63. In the same way, the entire name must not be exist 253 characters. So when with the domain name means what, all the labels are connected by dot. So consider each and every label should be extended up to 63. It is allowed. But when you calculate overall the domain name, full domain name, the full domain name length should not be exceed 253 character. So this is the rule. So domain name are not case sensitive. It means we can use upper or lower. That is not there is no mixing of both cases are not allowed. It may be upper or lower or mixing of both cases are allowed here. So because it is not a case sensitive. Next one, generic top level. So when you are talking about domain name, we should know the root and their top level, higher level node. When you're talking about the higher level node, the generic domain name plays very important role. This is the higher level node which gives the information about the nature of the organization. For example, here you can see com, edu, gov, mil, org, net info. These are the topper level domain name after the root. So this domain name gives the detailed information about the organization, nature of the organization. For example, com means commercial organization, edu means educational organization, gov means government organization. Generally gov refers to US government in internet. MIL refers to military groups, org refers to non-profitable organization, net refers to networking organization, info refers to information service providers. So generic top level domains are used for generic purpose and maintained by IANA. Next one is the country level top level domain. So each and every country have their own organization. It may be commercial, it may be non-profitable, it may be educational. So all the different type of organizations are in every country. So for differentiating these organization from country to country, we use the next top level domain name as a country level domain name. So each and every country have their own domain name. Like India, a domain name is in. USA domain name is US. FR refers to France. UK domain name refers to United Kingdom. CA domain name refers to country level domain name refers to Canada. AU refers to Australia. So here in the diagram you can see root level always the higher level which was empty. After that the nature of the organization, and each and every nature of their own country level and have their own sub second level domains like AC, MIL, GOV, that in. So in the same way, if you take the government of India may contain many states. So TN refers to Tamil Nadu, AP refers to Andhra Pradesh, KL refers to Kerala. In the same way, the subdomains can be created, and many more sub level of domains names can be created, and each and every domains are labeled, and label should be follow the rules which we already discussed. So this is the end of the lesson. I hope you understand about the domain name system and name spacing. Next class we will discuss about the next two component of DNS. One is name server and zone level. So prepare well for your examination. Clear all your doubts. Send your assignments to my WhatsApp. Prepare for public examination. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Best of luck.